Don't count Trump out. Polling could be wrong. The economy could recover just enough. He could announce his own October surprise. Peter Nicholasjuly 27, 2020. Let's stipulate right away that President Donald Trump is losing this race. Set aside the particulars, how suburban voters are migrating toward Joe Biden, and how seniors are rethinking their support too. Consider the basics. Presidents are supposed to keep Americans employed. The jobless rate now stands at 11%, more than 3 points higher than when Jimmy Carter lost re-election in 1980 and when George H.W. Bush was defeated in 1992. Presidents are supposed to keep Americans safe. About 140,000 have died from COVID-19, more than twice the number that perished in the Vietnam War, which doomed Lyndon B. Johnson's re-election chances in 1968. Presidents are supposed to attract voters outside their loyal base. Trump's approval rating stands at 38%. According to Gallup, no president since Harry Truman in 1948 has won re-election with a number less than 40%. So what, it's over, then? Maybe not. Facing the combined calamities of a pandemic and an economic meltdown, Trump hasn't collapsed. His base never really grows, but neither does it crumple, keeping him competitive. If Trump could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose supporters, he could also raise the dead on Fifth Avenue and not gain any supporters, Charles Franklin, the director of the Marquette Law School poll, told me. The pointless feuds and rage tweets, the conspiracism and obsessions all seem baked in. None of that seems to surprise the electorate anymore. He could win. He might win. Here are 6 reasons why. 1. The economy could come back just enough. Reckless though it was to reopen businesses while the virus raged, states that lifted stay-at-home restrictions gave the economy an unmistakable jolt. A record-setting total of 7.5 million jobs were added in May and June. The numbers might well cool off in the coming months, but Trump can spin what might turn out to be fleeting gains as a full-fledged recovery. This looks like a very rapid rebound, Gregory Dacko, the chief economist at the consulting firm Oxford Economics, told me, referring to recent job numbers. But we have to keep in mind that we're still deep in the hole. We've only recouped about 1/3 of the jobs lost, and the second portion of the recovery phase is likely to be much slower. To illustrate the point, Dacko cited clothing sales, which dropped 90% from February to April. Since then, sales have nearly doubled, which may sound like reason to celebrate. But they're still 70% below the peak, Dacko told me. For Trump's purposes, the broader context wouldn't matter. He'd point to the progress and ignore the rest. And some may be inclined to believe him. Even as voters sour on Trump for other reasons, 50% still like the way he handles the economy, a new ABC News Washington Post survey shows. The president needs a glimmer of hope in the fall, and that will be enough on the economy, a former senior White House official told me, speaking on the condition of anonymity in order to talk candidly about Trump's re-election. 2. Polling could be wrong, again. 4 years ago, the race between Trump and Hillary Clinton came down to Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Trump narrowly won all 3. This time around, Biden is leading in each of the same 3 states by anywhere from 6 to 8 points, the Real Clear Politics average of polls shows. If that sounds familiar, it may be because state surveys also showed Clinton topping Trump in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania ahead of the election. In Pennsylvania alone, 7 different state polls taken in the first 2 weeks of October 2016 showed Clinton beating Trump by no fewer than 4 percentage points and by as many as 9. She wound up losing the state by about a point. Postmortem analyses of state polling turned up serious flaws. In some instances, don't count Trump out.